President Trump saying earlier today the Republican Party is unified, but news reports reveal the president got into a screaming match during a closed-door meeting with party leaders today. Scripps News senior congressional correspondent Nathaniel Reed joins us. Nate, they said it was going to be contentious. Apparently this time it did not disappoint.
No, it did not, Del. This was a reported screaming match between Senator Bill Cassidy, the Republican from Louisiana, who, by the way, President Trump had just endorsed his primary opponent several months back, ultimately winning in that election, that primary election in Louisiana. So Bill Cassidy now no longer seeking re-election. He lost his primary, now feeling somewhat untethered and reportedly having a screaming match with President Trump during that closed-door Senate Republican meeting over the contentious issue of Iran, the concerns about this ongoing war with Iran. Just yesterday, Cassidy voted to rebuke President Trump over this ongoing war. The president, of course, had attacked those 4 Republican senators who rebuked him, who voted with Democrats to rebuke him over Iran. It was a day of high tensions here on Capitol Hill, and it started when President Trump declined to sign something that his advisors have long been saying he would sign. The stage was set on Capitol Hill Wednesday for President Trump to sign an overwhelmingly bipartisan housing affordability bill, hailed as the most significant housing reform in 3 decades. But the president had other plans, canceling the signing via social media post. Trump saying he would not sign the housing bill, quote, until such time as we pass the desperately needed Save America Act, an unrelated election reform bill that Democrats and a handful of Republicans oppose. The rejection of a public bill signing only adding to the tension between the president and Senate Republicans. One day earlier, a handful of Senate Republicans joining Democrats to issue a rebuke of the war in Iran. On Wednesday, President Trump coming face-to-face with some of the defectors who he attacked online.
I think we had a really great meeting, and we're very proud of the party. We like our leader. We like everybody really in the room. I don't like a few people, but that's okay. I think you know who they are.
The Save America Act, which Trump pushed for Wednesday, has caused tensions to boil over in recent weeks on Capitol Hill, though the bill has come up short in the Senate several times. President Trump has said he wants the Senate to abolish the filibuster, that 60-vote threshold which most legislation needs to pass to get it done. But a significant number of Senate Republicans, led by Majority Leader John Thune, have said they don't support getting rid of the filibuster. Are the votes there to get rid of the filibuster? As I understand, they're not.
No. The filibuster's off the table. No sense even talking about it.
Every member knows this score. They all know the votes aren't there to blow up the filibuster, and they're not even close to there to blow up the filibuster. It's not like 5 people.
The president's agenda on Capitol Hill appearing stalled yet again, with just months to go before the midterm elections. Caught in the middle of all of this, Del, that housing bill, that bill that would make housing more affordable by both cutting red tape and banning institutional investors from buying up a stockpile of single-family homes. It's the House Speaker earlier today said that he believes that the president will sign the bill at some point in the next 10 days, but it's not clear if or when President Trump ever plans to sign that legislation, if Congress will need to override a veto, if the president even plans to veto it. At this point, tensions between President Trump and Senate Republicans seem high as ever.
Nate, going into today's meeting, there were concerns that after the president came to Capitol Hill to meet with the members of the Senate, who just yesterday were saying they were going to give him an earful after he came to Capitol Hill, there were concerns that they would come out of the meeting singing Kumbaya. That apparently is not the case. Is the dam broken now with regards to whether or not there are Republicans who are willing to speak out against anything that they see that they don't like?
Yeah, look, the vast majority, Del, of Senate Republicans have the president's back. And in fact, the president did emerge from that meeting saying, look, there's a couple of people I don't like, but for the most part, I get along great with everyone. And in fact, Senate Majority Leader John Thune may have come out of that meeting in a stronger position, with President Trump clearly saying on his way out of that meeting to reporters that he backs the leader, meaning, of course, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who has gotten a lot of the backlash over the Save America Act, that piece of election reform legislation. So it seems like largely the relationship between Trump and Republicans is unscathed on Capitol Hill, but certainly there are fractures showing everywhere across the minefield. And the fact that the president unwilling to sign something that the vast majority of both Democrats and Republicans supported just earlier this week. In fact, Republicans were touting this bill up until it was clear that the President Trump would not sign it. Some Republicans later said this afternoon they hope the president eventually does sign it. A lot of questions about what that relationship looks like moving forward. And furthermore, just how long the president, can continue to count on the vast majority of Republicans in his corner. Still, his relationship seems pretty good on the surface with a lot of members of the conference, but the president has been pushing for fairly impossible things, i.e. getting rid of the filibuster, something that seems like the majority of Senate Republicans have said they are not open to doing.
Our senior congressional correspondent, Nathaniel Reed, for us on Capitol Hill. Nate, thank you very much.